Hello, everyone. This is Dennis Kelly and the team here at Boingnet. I'm going to be joined today in the presentation by Alec Graziano. Thank you, everybody, for coming together today. We've been working very hard at pulling together version 2 for a long time, and we're really excited to get it out in the market. A lot of you have had some great input and feedback that we've incorporated into the product, and Alec has been the one who's really done the yeoman's amount of work, he and his team, both here in the U.S. and overseas. Alec, why don't you say a few words?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on our first of many series here on the webinar. Excited to see a lot of old faces come in and check out what we've done for this second version. And it's good to see a lot of new folks as well. So we're excited to show you what we have here. I think there's a lot of great new features and functionality to help your business out. So, if you have questions along the way, certainly type them in and let us know, and we'll try to get to those at the end of the presentation here. So look forward to showing you what we have.
So you should see on your screen now a quick agenda. We're going to focus today on reviewing version 2, kind of high level, what its capabilities are. We'll touch on a lot of the new features. Some of you here on the phone are folks that have been using version 1, either currently or in the past. And so what we'll focus on, in addition to the new user interface, and sort of flow of the product is, what are the new features that really make the product different and better compared to the version 1 product. And we're going to spend some time in a multi-channel campaign. And it's really one of the themes of the new product. We're focusing on giving folks the ability to dig in and develop campaigns that live across channels, that work together and are able to learn from activity in those channels. Along the way, we're asking folks to type in any questions that they have. There's a little icon on the left side of your screen called Meeting Chat. And so as we're going along, if you have questions, just type them in there. We've got a team of folks here who will be recording those questions, and we will try to answer them at the end, given our time constraints. And if we're not able to get to all of them, we'll get back to you individually. So thanks again for joining. We're going to jump over into Boingnet version 2. You can see here, this is the first screen that you'll see in Boingnet version 2, once you've got some campaigns up and running. It looks a lot different than version 1. We think it's a lot better. We're trying to give you a main navigation page. This is the home page in version 2. Up in the upper right-hand corner, you can see a consistent navigation bar that lives across all of the pages that are within version 2. The first thing that you'll see when you jump into version 2 is a new graph that is keeping track of your most current campaign. And so we'll show you over a period of time. You can zoom in and zoom out at different views and see different events that occur in the campaign and what the effect of those events are on the traffic generated by that campaign. Just a quick high-level view. Next thing you'll see down below is a campaign calendar, and your most recent campaign is the one you can jump right into and begin editing. Quick links over here on the right into the most frequently used parts of Boingnet. Here's where you can jump into your templates, and we'll spend quite a bit of time in there showing you a lot of new stuff today. And then finally, over here you've got your account balance. So right on your home page, you'll know exactly how many credits you have. One of the key differentiators of Boingnet, as many of you know, is that we offer a pay-as-you-go model. And so you're able to buy credits as you need them. You're not forced to sign any long-term contracts or any big commitments. And so That's where you're able to keep track of what you're able to do, buy credits, upgrade your account, do whatever you need to do there. So what we'll focus on today is a set of campaigns that have been set up, and actually the campaign that was used to solicit interest in this webinar will be one of those campaigns we'll dig into today. So where we're going to start is really by jumping in and looking at what a personalized landing page can look like. And so up across the top, we've got a few open pages that we'll focus on. This is for a company called Watson's Candies, and this was a page template that has incorporated some variable data and what we refer to as variable logic. Variable logic allows a marketer or an agency to create a different experience for different people on the list based upon the variable data within that list or their profile. So in this case, we obviously inserted, "Hey Megan, you search for chocolate in Massachusetts," and we've pulled together some content, created a form. Hopefully we'll grab Megan's email address. The next page within the same campaign is to April. You can see here that we met April at a trade show, and that's a unique set of data that was pulled together for April based on her profile. And because April had what fell into the trade show category, a different button appears here on her template. If we click through, you can see that we've got a corporate gifting offer. Finally, we've got another person here named Kaylee, and Kaylee has some more information in her profile that we've been able to gather. December is going to be her birthday, and so we've got a promotion for members of the list that have birthdays within a particular month. Pulls together some content, pulls together a different link that wasn't available on the other pages. So you set up your page once, and on scale, you can reach out to everybody on your list and speak to them uniquely. It's a really great, powerful feature of Boingnet, and we've got all sorts of new things that we're going to show you and how you can drive people to these pages across multiple channels. So back to the home screen. First thing we're going to do is jump into the template portion of the product, where all of you creative types will get to work and spend a lot of time. As you can see here, we've pulled together a whole series of templates that were used in this campaign and other campaigns. And one of the really great new parts of Boingnet is our ability to create templates that are not only personalized, but are for lead generation. And so you can see here, we're using Boingnet currently to do some pay-per-click work. So we're out there buying keywords around microsites, around what we call lightweight marketing automation, and can quickly pop in. And this is a simple lead generation form. Talks about microsites, offers an ability to watch our corporate video if you fill out the form. The template that was built for the Watson's Candy campaign, we'll take a look at. And you can see that we have all sorts of variable data that has been brought in, and this is how we're able to offer that unique experience per member of the list. I'm going to jump in and show what the template creation process looks like quickly. You can see we've got a lot of different options here when you're creating a template. We've got different template types now within Boingnet version 2 to deal with the different types of channels that we are operating within. We can create a new page, and page is something that will turn into a landing page that is personalized, or It could be a landing page that is a lead generation page where we don't really know anything about the people that will be filling out the forms. Email templates, blank templates for when you're copying and pasting existing content from another form. SMS templates, and a new capability where we're able to import content from an existing web page. And so this is a function that allows you to, if you've got content out there on the web that you'd like to pull in and begin editing, you're able to just type in a URL here. I'm going to point to our contact page. It's going to perform an import function and bring that contact page right into our editor. So this is all of the HTML for that particular page has been brought in, and you're able to edit inline. All of the links are live, and so if I were to click here on this image, you can see that the links have been pulled in. And so it's a nice feature that allows you to quickly grab content that you think might be useful in a campaign and crank it out for either a landing page or an email. If I were to create a new page, you can see that we've got a new and very different preview capability here and template creation process. The first thing we do is pick a header style, pick a body, and then a footer style. Got an ability to select a color scheme, choose a background, and we've got, I think, about 500 different fonts that you can lay into your template as a starting point. Now, what's really interesting about this is one of the great capabilities in Boingnet version 2 is our ability to create responsive designed templates. And so many of you probably know what that means, but just as a quick recap, responsive design means that both the page templates and the email templates are having HTML5 and CSS3 generated. And what that gives you is an ability to design a page or an email and have that page automatically resize based upon the device that is viewing that content. And so you can see here that we're looking at this template in the desktop view. If I were to click here, we can see how it would resize in a typical tablet. And again, to a typical smartphone. So, again, great new feature and something that we hope will be a powerful capability for all of the marketers using Boingnet. I'm going to jump in and start editing. And so you can see here, we've opened up the template that we saw on the previous page. And the new editor offers what we call inline editing. So you can simply click wherever you want on the page and start editing away. I can click over here and add a picture. We've got a full asset library for you to keep track of files and images. I'm just going to grab one that we've already uploaded. I can resize it here if I need to. And I can add a link if to a page. It can be an external link, like the Boingnet website. And you can see now we've got a live link. The features that you typically might update the page with that are what we consider sort of more Boingnet features and functions that allow the personalization to occur are over here on the left-hand side. So you scroll the mouse over, pulls the bar into your view. You're able to give the template a name, choose the type of template. We've got forms, coupons, redirects, a general template, email template, SMS, and that will grow over time. Be able to insert variable data. So if I go back over here and pick first name, last name, I can enter in a form. And if we're working on a list and we'll be generating personalized landing pages, I can pre-fill the form. Any of the text boxes that I create, I can make it required. Here's where we add the variable logic. We are able to track the links that you create within the page so that Boingnet reporting and analytics understands exactly who's clicking where. Here's where we can set up email responders, thank you responses, and they can either be sort of standard system generated or we can pull an email template. And here's also where you can enter in the redirect for when somebody fills out a form, either go to a thank you page or a subsequent page inside of a larger microsite. So lots of new capability here in the Boingnet template editor. I'm going to jump over to the list capability. If you've used Boingnet version 1, this will be a somewhat familiar screen. It's a somewhat familiar process. We're able to give you a lot of flexibility in how you set up and maintain your lists. We're able to import either through a standard file format, or we're able to set up automated import functions with a little bit of professional services work through FTP or an API level access. And we've got some really interesting new features that we're going to talk about here that really add a lot of value to email marketing. So I'm going to jump into the actual list that we used to generate the webinar here. And you can see that we've got a series of fields listed. You're able to jump in and edit any of the content that is within that list, sort of on the fly. What is really kind of new and interesting is this email status capability and our ability for Boingnet to, over time, enable you to have a very clean list. And what's really important for people who send out a lot of email is that they maintain a high level of deliverability. And the worst thing that can happen to a marketer is for an ISP or any of the major email providers to label you as a spammer. And so we've created some tools that give you an ability to keep a high sending score with all the major email providers. And so in addition to the campaigns learning on the fly, meaning as you have drops and bounces and unsubscribes and spams, people mark an email as spam. We're keeping track of that. We'll make sure that you don't resend to that same address. We've got an ability to clean your list in advance. And so by clicking on this button, you'll see that we've got a couple of different options. The quick clean is something that can be run in a few minutes for a list of 1,000. It'll take just 30 seconds or so to run through. And essentially what happens on the quick clean is that Boingnet will scan the list and look for syntax errors and common misspellings. We've got a list of what are referred to as throwaway domains, where people register for temporary email addresses, and they're used to essentially get content and fill out forms on the web, and then the email goes away and it's something that the person's never intending to use. So we'll check against that list. And then the complete clean is a really interesting process. It takes longer, and so we recommend that folks run this well in advance of any kind of a send. And essentially what we will do here is reach out to each email address on your list and do a handshake with the domain and the SMTP server to make sure that it's real. We'll go further and actually ask that server, is there an email address of this name held within your server? If we get a yes, great, you're clean. If we get a no, we're going to mark it as such, and you won't send to that email. So this is a great way to make sure that your lists are being cleaned and you are sending to the right people. You won't be wasting money sending emails that are invalid, and you've got an opportunity to go back and clean up your list, maybe through a direct mail campaign and a lead gen page template, driving people to a form where they're able to update their email address in exchange for an offer. So if I click on the email status, you can see here that these folks that have been marked in red with different statuses are all, at this stage of the game, not able to be sent to. So you've got some drops, some bounces, got a no mail server, invalid email. So there's several statuses. You're able to open up and change the address. And now that person is back on the list and you can send to that email. So a great new capability here within our list function, and it's something that we're not aware of any other email marketing software that gives you this very deep capability without having to go pay for a third-party service. This is bundled within the Boingnet software. So at this point, I'm going to hand things over to Alec, and he's going to talk a little bit about microsites.
So essentially, what a microsite is a collection of page templates. If you think of a microsite as really just a mini website, some people will have a microsite that is as big as just one page. Some people will have a microsite as big as 10 or 20 pages. Typical microsite pages are in the order of 1 to 3 pages. Those are very targeted at a specific task. It may be a survey with a thank you page and maybe a products page, something like that. So it's very targeted. There's a specific call to action, but it allows you as the marketer really to tailor that those set of pages as you wish. The nice part about our microsite editor is that you have full control over the naming convention of the pages, the number of pages, how pages interact with each other, etc. And everything can be done on the fly. So during a campaign, If you want to add new pages that you forgot when you launched it, if you want to remove pages, you can do that all on the fly. The page name that you'll see here, in this sample we have 3 pages within this microsite. This page name is editable, so if I want to change that to something else, I can just edit it right in here, save it, and that'll automatically trickle through to all of those personal URLs, and that'll become a live link for all those. What's nice about this is it's a very friendly URL. So with our personal URLs, we have a number of different formats with a first name, last name, with a domain, and the page name can be specified to how you want it. That's good for friendly URL purposes, for sharing the link, for search engine optimization, etc. Some of these personalized landing pages may live around for a long time. If you are creating a nurturing type campaign, that personal URL may be around for a long time, so the ability to have a persistent URL that has some good naming convention is pretty important. So pretty unique to the application, and really lets you have full control over the microsite details and the page naming details.
Great. Thanks, Alec. Now we're going to jump in and talk about campaigns. We've got some new campaign concepts as we discussed. Jump in to create a new campaign. As you mentioned before, we have personalized campaigns. Personalized campaigns are campaigns that are based from a list that you have uploaded into Boingnet. And these campaigns can live across a variety of different channels, as we discussed, both web, email, SMS, direct mail, and drip campaigns that we'll talk about in a sec. And then the other capability is now around lead generation campaigns. And so when you need to create landing pages and microsites that have an objective of capturing new leads, here's where you start. And you go through the same template building process that we reviewed before. And essentially, you're able to create URLs for those pages. You're able to manage those URLs the same way you manage the personal URLs. You're able to create Google-friendly, SEO-friendly page names with keywords and everything else. So powerful new capability. We're using it ourselves quite a bit within our own pay-per-click campaigns and out on social media. So I'm going to jump into a campaign now. This is the campaign that we use to create the webinar demand. And you can see that we've got, for version 1 customers, a lot of new information here. We'll review it here quickly. The name of the campaign is the Boingnet webinar for November 2013. Here's the list that was used to run this particular personalized campaign. The landing pages that were generated are listed right here. We can click and jump right over to that landing page. We can generate QR codes, or we can download personal URLs to be sent off to a printer to be used for a direct mail channel or for a drip campaign. We're able to view reports. I'm just going to jump in, and it'll quickly show the report for this particular campaign: 920 in the audience, 148 opens, 52 unique opens, and our conversion rate. We've got our entire range of reports that give you detailed analytics for the campaign. We're not going to spend a lot of time in there today. And then the details of the campaign that we've created here, we've just clicked into. We've got the microsite that the campaign is associated with, whether or not we want to have alerts sent out upon an open or a form complete. Daily summary report. Here's where we're able to set up sub-account access. You can view all of your pearls here and jump in and edit them as needed. Now, the other thing that is new, or one of several new things, is our ability to add channels. And so we sort of separated out the ability to reach out to people from the actual content that is used to gather information about those people. And so you're able to launch multiple channels within a campaign, as you can see here. In addition to the direct mail capability with the QRs and personal URLs, you can add email channels and SMS channels. We'll be offering social channels in the not-too-distant future as additional options, and this will be something that will grow over time. We're able now with our new architecture to quickly generate new channels and add them to a campaign. And so when the next social media craze comes up or the next communication method that everybody's using appears, we'll be able to augment your campaigns very quickly. So I'm going to jump into the email channel here. And this was the initial email blast that went out. Here's the creative for that channel. I'm going to view the report. And here we get all the detail about that email blast that went out. 882 sent, opens, unique clicks, bounces, unsubscribe, spam reports, and drop, broken out by day. Okay, and then the other great new feature within Boingnet is what we call our drip campaigns. And so we've created a couple of drips on that initial email blast. Okay, we've got a non-responders drip, and so we created an email template called Webinar Non-Responder Blast to be sent out to the segment non-visitors from that initial email blast. And then we've got another segment that we created a blast to, which are people who opened but did not fill out the form on the landing page. And so we created different content to be sent to those people. The openers were given an offer through the email that was very similar. The subject line was the same. The content was very similar. The non-responders email drip had a completely different subject line because we're trying to obviously get people to open and take the first step in responding. Adding a drip is really simple. Give it a name. Choose the segment that you want the drip sent to. Schedule it. Pick the template. Add in the basic from and email infrastructure information. Set up a test email, and then you're good to go. It's a very simple, easy process that gives you an ability to grow your response rate, while at the same time learn about the way that people respond, different people respond to different messages through different channels. So one of the other great new features is our ability to do text message marketing, and Alec is going to talk a little bit about that.
So, to reiterate a little bit on this page as well, what's interesting is that, the ability to have multiple channels within a campaign is pretty interesting. So, we're talking about a single list in this particular case. This is a list of folks who wanted to come attend our webinar. We've touched them in a couple of different ways. This could be an ongoing effort that goes on for, a month, a year, 10 years. It's really a way to continue to market to to that list in a number of different ways. So, we see here there's an email channel and there's an SMS channel that we initially set up. Those are just the starting points. This can continue to grow, and we continue to add email channels and SMS channels to really build upon that list and to really have it become more intelligent and learn along the way as to what's happening with that list. So, adding an email channel, as Dennis showed in the edit, similar to in the edit of the drip, is a quick little two-step process. We're going to try to make all these channels be very similar in when you're adding them, editing them, viewing reports on them, so it's a real consistent user experience. The email channel is something a lot of people will be familiar with in creating the tos and the froms and all that sort of stuff. The SMS channel is a little bit different, and it's a fairly new method of direct marketing where in our world we're still trying to drive all these folks back to the same place, so we can learn more about them, so we can learn that user XYZ likes to respond to text, user 123 likes to respond via email, etc. So it's a new way of marketing, but it's not just a straight blast to everyone on your list. There is a very particular process that you need to go through in order to send SMS text messaging, and we have built the system in such a way that it complies with the Telephone Consumer Protection Act as well as the FCC rules around single opt-in, double opt-ins, the way that you need to opt out, etc. So, while everyone is fairly familiar with subscribes and unsubscribes in email, SMS has a number of new challenges. We try to make it be fairly simple process. So similar to adding an email channel, you're going to give this channel a name. The text message that it comes from, you want it to be a local number, so folks, aren't seeing a 312 area if you're in a 617. So the ability to find yourself a local number will pop up. You can search by your area code. It's going to give you local numbers that you can use within your own campaign. Once that's chosen, you can then select a number that you like that's going to look good on your phone. The SMS template that you choose, this is the opt-in template, and what that means is everyone that is on your list is defaulted to not be able to send a message to. By sending them to an opt-in page, that's a web-based page that has a mobile number collection form, and anything else you want to collect on that page. That's the only requirement on that page, as well as a little checkbox to accept the terms. Once they've said, yes, I would like to be part of your campaign, it's going to automatically send them a message. That's this message right here, customizable by you. That message is going to go out to their phone, and it's going to say, please respond with a yes if you would like to still be part of our campaign. Reply with a no, or don't do anything at all if you want us to leave you alone. If they say yes, that's now considered a double opt-in. So they've said yes to the web form, here's my number, and they've said yes to the text message, so now they're doubly opted in. Now I'm allowed as a marketer to be able to send to those folks legally. You always need a way for them to get out. So at any time during the campaign, you may touch them, once a month, once a week, once a day. They always need a way to get out. So at any time when they type no or unsubscribe or whatever you define, that's going to take them out of the list, and now they're opted out. You can kind of send them one last message, and here this is thank you for being part of our campaign. We look forward to seeing you again soon type of thing. Similar to the email blast and the email drips, you can schedule this to go out at a certain date and time. And then the message itself, limited by text message carrier lengths. This will be, your personalized message if you want. You can say, hello, first name, last name, here's a certain offer for the week. In addition to a personal URL link that's going to create a short URL that's clickable with smartphones that have that ability. And when somebody does click on that, it's going to bring them back to that same personal URL page, similar to that Watson's example we showed you, but we know that it came from a phone. So now we can track it separately then folks who came from an email or folks who came from a direct mail piece, et cetera. So it's a real nice way to kind of segment the audience even further and kind of understand who's doing what from what channel.
Great. Thanks, Alec. So that's our kind of high-level overview for today. As we discussed before, we'll be setting up a series of webinars where we will be jumping into more detail on each of the topics that we touched upon: the template building, the email marketing, the SMS capability, and reporting and analytics, et cetera. So now, before we wrap up, we want to get to the questions that have been coming in. We've got a few of them here. First is from Maria from Target Direct. Her question is, does Boingnet need to be hosting the URL to use the landing page editor, or can someone else be hosting it?
So as far as the URLs go themselves, every URL that's going to be used in a campaign is directed at our servers. The content within those web pages, the styles, the images, those sort of things, those can be hosted elsewhere, or they can be hosted with us in the asset manager. So all the domain, the person URLs, everything is pointed to us. That's how we handle all the traffic. That's how we are able to sort of do all the things that we do. But all the assets and documents and all those sort of things can be hosted either with us or another provider if you already have that. In the sample that Dennis shows you where you can import a page template from another URL, that's a good example of that data being hosted elsewhere, the images and the styles being hosted elsewhere, but the URLs and the logic and everything that goes along with generating those pages is done here. In the samples that we built those templates with our template builder, those image and assets are with us. So it can be done in both ways.
Okay, great. Next question is from, looks like Peter from Caterpillar. Describe in more detail how the variable data works.
It's a good question because that's really core to the whole application. The way that the variable data works, it all starts with your list. So if you look here, we'll take a look at this Watson's data. Now, your list may be pretty simple. It may just be a first name, last name, and maybe an address if it was a direct mail piece, or it might be a pretty complex set of data that has 10, 20, 30, 40 fields in it. The data that you use within your landing pages can be as rich or as basic as you have that information for. So if we look at a sample here, we have some basic information, first, last, city, state, zip, but then we have some other interesting things that were mapped in from that data file. The data file that you have that gets imported in during the creation of a list process, you can define any of these fields that you want. So in this case, we know that this person's birthday was in April. If you remember from the example, we showed that any birthday that was in December was showing a special offer for December. So any data that you have in your data file can be used either in a display way, in the typical, welcome Megan way, or it can be used in a logical way, in that sort of if-then type of conditions. If we take a look back at the Watson's home, sorry, it's on my next page. If we take a look at here, we'll see that this is pulling in the variable data as just a simple variable display. So hello, first name. Down here, we'll see something a little more interesting in that we say, if that variable data that we've collected in our first field is equal to a trade show, we're going to show them this little block of data. If not, we show them another block of data. So there's a number of ways to use that variable data. You can also use it to pre-fill forms, which we found to be a really effective way to collect data. If you have, 4 pieces of data and you're really just looking to collect that last piece, to say maybe an email, pre-filling all the above data first with data that you have in your data file, and just asking that last piece of data is a really good way to get good conversion on that form.
Great. Thanks, Alec. Next question is from Mike. Can Boingnet create a direct mail piece like a PDF to print, for print? And Boingnet does not do the actual creation of print pieces. What we typically do is partner up with print houses, and we can, automate solutions so that the URLs that are generated through Boingnet or the QR codes are automatically shipped off to the printers of choice. But no, we are not actually in the business of printing direct mail ourselves. Okay, and then the next question is from John from Digitas. As an agency, how can we use Boingnet for clients? Are you able to deal with more than one client at the same time?
That's a great question. So Boingnet was built as a self-serve tool for marketers of any size, really, to go in and self-serve their own campaigns. It was also built for agencies and folks who have their own client base to kind of act as a super admin to the application, where then they can go through and add sub-account access for their own clients. And what that means is, I may have client X, Y, and Z. I've built all the creative for those folks. I have different campaigns that are running for all those folks. I may have emails that are going off for each of those folks. So me as a super admin, I need access to all that information, but I don't want to expose all of each of my clients to each of the other clients. So I give them their own login and password. They can go to a branded web page that looks similar in layout to ours, but it's going to have their logo up in the corner, the agency logo in the corner. Everything else can be styled, so if there's a style, color style that is for the agency, we can apply that as well. And then when that client logs in, they're only going to see consumable items. Those are reports, maybe alerts, things like that. They're not going to be able to get to the creative elements, things that the super admin is in charge of. So it's a great way to, expose this as sort of your own tool, and sort of allow your clients to self-serve their own reports. And a lot of, with other systems and folks who have talked to it, it's a cumbersome process to generate these reports for the clients, send them off on a daily basis. This really lets clients self-serve their own. They can also be put on the instant alert emails. So if a campaign's running where data is being collected, they could be put on that instant alert where they're notified of the prospects that are filling out forms. They can be notified on a nightly basis of campaign stats, et cetera. So, it allows the agency to kind of act as the super admin, but still give enough access to their clients to do what they need to do.
Great. And our final question is actually sort of where we wanted to go next. We're going to wrap up now. We promised we'd keep the meeting to under an hour, and we want to do that. From Bob Smith, will recording of this meeting be made available? The answer is yes. We will be sending out a link that will allow you to view the content and listen to the meeting as many times as you like. We'll send that out on email to everybody who registered, and we'll also put information out on our website and through our social channels for folks who are interested in, who couldn't attend today, but want to pass it along to other folks in the organization or to dig in and listen again in a particular area. So thanks again, everybody, for coming together today. I hope we were able to give you a sense of what Boingnet version 2 is able to do for you as a marketer. For the version 1 customers, I hope you got a sense for some of the new features, and that you really maybe have a better understanding of what the concept of multi-channel is within at least the Boingnet software. So thank you, and we'll look forward to talking with everybody soon. Don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions. You've got an ability to send us an email, of course. We're on social. Call us. Very happy to talk to anybody about anything. So thanks again, and we'll look forward to talking to everybody soon. Bye for now.